Hey everybody, Gurmy's Coaster Yard here, and finally, we are doing a roller coaster build video for our amusement park, theme park, Germanator Studios. And I decided I wanted to put a roller coaster in this plot of land. I sort of asked you guys last time, you can still see the question mark there, what we should build here, and I decided I think a roller coaster would be a good fit, but we're not just going to put a roller coaster on this plot of land, and it's not going to be exposed. I'll explain what I mean. So what I want to do is I basically want to do a family launched coaster, something similar to the Mummy at Universal Studios, in that we'll have sort of a museum here. It'll sort of be built up in this area, and the main facade will overlook our ride. It's the discus ride, but we called it pendulum. I called it pendulum, and then this whole main midway. So that's where the facade is going to go. But the ride is going to come forward and cross the pathway. It's actually going to go this way into the future themed area, and it's going to be sort of a spaghetti bowl coaster, but it'll be more of a family coaster, so it's not going to go upside down. And the building itself is going to be over here. So this building is going to have more of a generic museum type theme, but over here, the main quote show building will have a future looking exterior. And I think we'll even maybe make that the centerpiece of the future area, just to help it fit in because it's going to be so large. So let's get started. And hopefully this will also be a good guide in designing a launched roller coaster. Alright everybody, time-lapse Gurmy here, and I'm going to do my best 2.5 minute explanation on how to design a launched roller coaster in Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. So you can see I started by naming a guest David Braben, and I'll put the spelling on the screen, but that allows you to set the chain lift speed of a ride to any speed you want. Now, you can see here, I put a brake before the chain lift, which is set at 60 miles per hour, and the brake, without a brake, the chain lift would accelerate to its top speed instantaneously, and in real life that would cause people's necks to snap, or at the very least it would be very uncomfortable, and they'd probably be concussed when their head hits the back of the seat. So you want to avoid that. So putting the brake there, basically in Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, that helps the ride to ease into its acceleration, and it's more natural. And then we went up and to the right in some wide sweeping turns up and down. And one thing that's important is to use wider turns when a roller coaster is going fast and narrower turns when a roller coaster is going slow. And this will help you, this helps maintain the illusion of speed throughout a coaster. And it also reduces G-forces in the case of Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. So we go into some big wide sweeping turns and then go down into an inclined loop. Now, despite the fact that this is more of a family-oriented coaster, I thought the inclined loop worked nicely there. And it is an inversion, but loops generally are not super intense inversions. They can be, but for an indoor launched dark ride, I don't think an inclined loop is much to worry about. Now this was a bit of a challenge for me, trying to design an otherwise non-inverting roller coaster in a compact layout. I think when you do a standard serpent roll or cobra roll as your first big element with one of these rides, it sort of establishes a footprint, and it's easy to follow things that have already been done, like Rock and Roller Coaster or Flight of Fear at Kings Island / Kings Dominion. Their layouts are easy to emulate, not necessarily the specific layout, but just the general principle of how they work. So by going against that, I found that it made it more difficult, but it was a fun challenge for me. So, where are we on screen? So we're already past the first two brake runs, but it's more just twists and turns. And in the final stretch, I'm doing just some bunny hills, and in the dark, these will still feel relatively quick, just to sort of have a fun finale to the ride. And this is not meant to be any long, drawn out thing or anything too scary or too intense, but it'll be a fun indoor roller coaster. And you can see here I am adjusting the brakes. So I'm going to have two stations, an exit station and obviously an entrance station, just to help with capacity. And in a moment you should see me adjust the final brake run to fit more trains. And you can see the train navigating its layout. This, I believe, is where we'll find, yes, you can already see it there. One of the trains didn't make it past the brake run. It was a little too slow. So I increased the speed on that for now, and I'll fine tune that later. And that worked. And the time lapse is about to end. So I'm going to stop narrating and get back to real time Gurmy. Alright, everybody, real time Gurmy here, and we're going to finish off this video with a time lapse of the roller coaster. In the next episode, we will do the museum building for the facade and the stations, and get started on the indoor spaghetti bowl section. So we'll get started on that exterior. I'm not going to do the future looking part first, but I'll have two layers of walls, and the interior layer will be probably colored black, and that's what I'm going to work on in the next episode. Other than that, I hope you all have a good day, and be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments below, as always. And other than that, the ride's about to be done. Please remain seated till you come to a complete stop, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Germanator Studios.